Welcome back to the channel, you guys. One of the most important considerations when it comes to general preparedness is what you're going to do when you leave your home. So we talk about safely getting to work and from work to the store, back home from the store, things like that. But longer trips, longer excursions away from your house, there's always the potential and the possibility that something could go unexpectedly. Something could deviate from your plan for the day, whether that's a flat tire, a dead battery, maybe it's trying to help a neighbor who's in some distress, or as we've seen with recent events, maybe something potentially violent that we want to be prepared for in a number of ways. So what we're going to talk about today is my vehicle, what I carry, and this is just some general recommendations on what you could also put together for yourself and how I run mine. Again, there's a million ways to do this. There's a lot of good content out there if you're wanting to get into overlanding, if you want to be able to stay in your vehicle overnight. That's not something that I have the means to do with my vehicle. It's not something I have a lot of knowledge on. There's great experts out there from places like Fieldcraft Survival, and I think Dirty Civilians also done some stuff. But we're going to get into what I carry in my vehicle and how prepared I am when I leave the home. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that comes to everybody's mind when we talk about everyday carry is obviously the firearm and things. Let's talk about a couple items that I keep, that I have for on my person. That's going to start with my bag. Some people call this a speed ball or a get home bag. I just call it a bag. This is, I think it's the Commuter 2.0 from Vertex. I'm pretty sure that's it. This does have a soft armor panel in the back of it that stops pistol rounds. I don't know a ton of details on how many, but anything up to 44 Magnum. This is literally to help me get back to my vehicle safely, so I could flip around my shoulder, wear it like it's armor, or give it to my wife or whoever I'm with if that's the greater priority. Real quickly, we'll talk about what I have in this. So opened up, the back panel is the soft armor. You can see here I have a pair of spare magazines for my carry gun, which is a Glock 43X right now. The nice part about this is actually from Maxpedition, and I can resize this. So in the winter months when I move up to a Glock 19, it'll fit those magazines as well. And I have this loaded up with some good hollow point ammunition for self-defense purposes. Also have a cat tourniquet here and a Kydex holder to protect it. And then here we have some trauma shears, some chem lights for marking. In the event something were to happen at night, you need to be able to identify yourself to rescue or aid or police or something. And then some rolled gauze and an Israeli bandage ready to go. Not a ton, but just what my immediate needs would be. When we open up here to the front pocket, there's a little bit more. This is a tearaway pouch from Maxpedition that has some more medical in here, a lot of gauze, chest seal, things like that, where I can rip this off. I can hand this to somebody if need be. And in here, I do have a compass. This is a hypothermia wrap in the event that somebody was badly burned from an accident or something like that, right? It's gonna help. And then I have a couple packages of these like vacuum sealed gauze, compressed gauze, because honestly, you always need way more than you think. So I got 2 of those in here. And there's still more room. I have a compass as well that's tethered in if I needed that. And it all fits in here without too much of an issue. And then I can go ahead, zip that shut. I have a phone charger in here just in case I need it. And then a front pocket that opens up, and to go with some of these other things, I have some pens and a physical map, because you never know when you might actually need a analog map if you can't get Wi-Fi signal, if you can't get service, whatever have you. Do have a battery pack charger in here, and a microfiber just in case I need it. So that's what I have on my person to get me back to the vehicle, to help me get back home. Let's talk a little bit more about what's in the vehicle here. Now, as I do concealed carry, something I do recommend is some kind of car safe. And you guys can see here, this is tethered in via a steel cable to one of the lashing points, and that is on my keys. So I have this in here. It won't fit my entire loadout, but it will at least fit my firearm in here, whether that's a 19 or a 43X. You can secure it in here, so if I am out and about and I need to, I can lock that up. If you guys are carrying, I do highly recommend one of these. They're actually pretty affordable. I think it's like 40 bucks. Additionally, over here, some decent jumper cables. I haven't had to use these yet, but they're critical to have. And don't just go get the cheapest thing you guys can find, and definitely don't buy it from a gas station unless you absolutely have to. Getting a good quality set of cables that's gonna be able to stay on the terminals is really going to show its value when you need it. You don't want to be stuck somewhere with somebody willing to give you a jump and some really bad cables so you can't get it done. So highly recommend something like that. Now, you guys can see we have the toolbox here. Before I get into that, I do carry a couple of tarps. These are really cheap from Harbor Freight, who has sales all the time, literally all the time, you guys. I think I got these for about $5 a piece, and they're 7 feet by 9 feet, a little bit bigger, but you get the idea. These are great for, you know, improvised shelter. You could use it as an improvised litter if you needed to move or transport somebody. If you need to get underneath your vehicle because that's where your spare tire is, maybe you have a minivan or something and you have your kids and whatever, you can lay one of these down. There's a ton of uses for tarps. I use them at the range to lay out on when it's a little bit muddy and things like that. There's a ton of uses for them. They're super cheap. They fold up easy, and I just stow them here behind my box, and they don't go anywhere, but I like to have them with me just in case. Also great in case you get a broken window or something, you can use these to help block that out, keep the elements out in the event that you had to stay overnight in the vehicle until help arrived and you had a broken window, maybe there was some kind of an accident. Now, the box. This is just a basic DeWalt box. And I did Velcro on the bottom so that it wouldn't slide around the back of the car here. So it will come up. It just takes a lot of work. So what do I have in here? So when I open this up, a couple of items. I have a hiker med pack from My Medic, just some basic boo-boo stuff in here. Anything from anti-diarrheal to aspirin, super skin bandages and some gauze, things like that. I got this for like $7 at a Sierra, you guys. It's kind of like a TJ Maxx. So $7 for this, it's a huge value, and having this kind of stuff when you need it is really invaluable. So I have this right up here on the top, easy access, because it's probably one of the things I'm most likely to need. Now, do have, you know, just a towel here, gloves for car side needs, whether that's building any kind of a structure or something like that, or you actually need it to work on the vehicle. If you have an older vehicle and stuff like that, the rust, jagged edges, things like that, just in general. If you're in an accident or trying to help somebody in an accident, something with a good leather palm to it that's gonna protect your hands so they don't get too ripped up, always a good idea. I do have some road flares here. I think there's 4 in here. Sorry, 3 of them. They last about 15 minutes, so they're emergency flares. Not the greatest, but they are definitely better than nothing. You can use this to help signal help, especially if you go off the road, or just, you know, you're in the middle of nowhere and you need an identification marker. Additionally, to see what you're doing, I do have a headlamp here. I think this is also from Harbor Freight, and this is just fantastic. You can throw this on your head, obviously, and then you don't have to be using whatever handheld light that you might have, you know, for EDC purposes. You have your hands free for whatever else is going on. This comes with a nice pull-out tray, so that all fits in there. Additionally, I do have a zip-up hoodie, either for myself or somebody else, in the event that the weather is crummy. If their clothes are wet, they need to stay warm without going full hypothermia blanket. Something like a hoodie can go a long way. Or if I'm just out on the range or something and I forget to bring a jacket. I do have a high visibility vest just for safety purposes. Rope for any variety of purposes. This is about 50 feet here, and you can get this at your local Home Depot, whatever have you. Never hurts to have it. Variety of uses. You guys can figure that out. I do have another first aid kit in here because why not? Great to have. A marine grade fire extinguisher because home fire extinguisher just won't get the job done. If you guys think about it, some of the chemicals and things that are involved around your vehicle, whether that's gasoline or oil, so stuff that's very flammable, right? Electric fires and things like that. This is rated to deal with those, whereas your home fire extinguisher really isn't. So you want to have something like this. You can get this actually at like a Home Depot or a Lowe's. They're really not that expensive, but definitely something I recommend having because there's always that potential that you could have to deal with a fire. I do have a pack of bungee cords here. Again, Harbor Freight is your friend. Improvised shelter, if you need to attach to your tarps to keep something over your window or your windshield or something to protect the inside of the vehicle, whatever have you. These are fantastic and very, very cheap. Another set of gloves as a backup. They're not quite as durable or rugged, but nice to have them, especially if you have somebody traveling with you in the vehicle, so they also have gloves. I do have a litter. These are fantastic for the money. I think it was like 20 bucks on Amazon. So if somebody is ambulatory and you do need to move them, this is designed to carry weight, support their weight so that you can move somebody in the event that maybe you stop to assist with a car accident, something like that. You have this available. And then also just a couple things. Extra socks, because man, having wet feet is really bad. It's really uncomfortable, and for any kind of extended period of time, it can really tear your feet up if they get wet. So these are merino wool from Costco, very affordable, very effective. Highly recommend extra socks, either for yourself or whoever you may come across, just in varying degrees of distress. And then just being it real, guys, extra t-shirt. This is an Orion Concepts t-shirt that I just threw in here, and then extra set of drawers, actually two, because shit happens, quite literally. So having an extra change of clothes basically thrown in here between socks and shirts and a hoodie. You can change your clothes, you can stay dry. This is just very, very basic stuff, nothing high speed, but all great stuff to have. Any of this stuff can make or break your experience. Any of this stuff can be had, for the most part, at a local hardware store. It's really not that expensive, especially if you do it in parts, if you do it in pieces, and it can have a huge impact in your moments of need. This isn't everything I carry in my vehicle. We're gonna actually walk around to the passenger side. I have a seat backer and some other things we're gonna talk through, and some more immediate items that I have access to when I'm still in control of the vehicle. Okay, so additional items that I have available to me that I can reach from the driver's seat. There is a backing panel here on the back of the passenger seat. On the back of the passenger seat here, this is not high speed. This is actually kind of garbage, but it was like 20 bucks on Amazon, and I could molly a bunch of pouches to it. So from here, I have access to I think this is an old grenade pouch or something. Might even be a flashlight pouch that a buddy gave me, to a stream light, just handheld light here with a Theorem switchback on it, so I can index that easily. Shove that in there. I have just a general purpose molly pouch here with a rain jacket in it that I'm not going to take out because it's kind of a pain in the butt to roll up. But if I needed a jacket that has a hood with a brim on it, which is really, really nice, I have immediate access to that. And I just index my zippers here so that I'm reaching back behind, I can grab that easily. Also have a fleece blanket that's usually in the car that's on the seat back here. So I usually don't have passengers in the back, so having this is nice. And then a water resistant blanket here. And then additionally, I do always keep a snow scraper here in Michigan. You're really only guaranteed not to have snow for about 5 months out of the year. The rest of the time, anything could happen. It's hard to say. And then I do keep a umbrella with me. Not a big deal, not very expensive, but something worth packing just for convenience. I know where it's not life-saving or life-changing, but again, comfort and convenience can go a long way, especially if you're out with your family and whatnot. An umbrella does a lot for you. And then here, Velcroed to the floor behind the center console, is a blowout kit from MyMedic. So it's Velcro backed. I do have the panel on the back of the seat back here, so I could get into that if I wanted to mount it there. What I found is I actually like it behind the console, so I can just grip it and rip it, literally. And I have some of their lashing cords or bungee cords here, whatever they call them. And I have an additional cat tourniquet on this, aside from the one that's in my go bag. And as this opens up, I'm not gonna take the whole thing apart because it's an awful lot, but You can see here, this thing is chock full of goodies. I think this is rated to cover up to 4 people. I think it's for 2 or 3. But realistically, you know, a great option to have, and something that I've carried in my vehicle for years now. My medic does a great job with the kits they build out. This goes with me everywhere, and I can't recommend something like this enough, especially if you're traveling with friends a lot or a spouse or family. They do make smaller kits, they make larger kits, but this is fantastic to have. You could even lash another couple tourniquets onto this if you really want to. And then additionally, do have a travel package of wet wipes here, because when you need these, you're going to be really glad that you have them. So all of this is accessible by literally just turning and reaching behind the seat, knowing where everything is. And that's part of your planning too, is you need to understand what you're reaching for, where all of it is, what you have, what you don't have, and it needs to be reflexive. It needs to be something that you know for sure is there, which means going through and checking these things, swapping some of the wipes out, for instance, when they get dried out, swapping batteries on some of these devices like the flashlights to make sure that you're ready to go. Now let's take one final look at what I have available to me when I'm in the driver's seat. Okay, so in control of the vehicle, I still need to be accessible to everything that I have. So I obviously have my concealed carry firearm here. When I'm driving, I need to have access to that. So appendix carry rather than strong side carry is preferred. I'm a bigger guy. It is a little uncomfortable. It's something I've learned to deal with. Something I do recommend as well if you're going to be on the road a lot. Now, additionally, from here, I do have a phone mount for heads up use, so that I don't have to take my eyes off the road, take my hands off of the wheel. A couple other just additional items are charging cords. One of them plugs into the car, one is literally just a charger. Since we are dependent on GPS so often, having these is extremely helpful. And if you don't, guys, it's 2025. What are you even doing? Another couple of things here are pens, because I am absolutely shocked every time I get to my range and have to have friends sign in as guests and they don't have a pen in their vehicle. Carry pens, you guys. You need to be able to write, whether that's coordinates for where you're meeting up with somebody, whether that's some kind of claims number if you get into an accident. It's all stuff that you need to be able to take care of. Have pens in your car. A couple other items here. This is from Box Cutter. I won this, I think, in a giveaway online. It's just a nice little organizer here. It has another pen. I do also have a Write in the Rain pad here, so that if I did need to take down information, be it a license plate number, details for a meeting, anything, right? I have a literal pad of paper here with a pen that I can use to write. And it has some additional stuff up here in the front, just some goodies, extra batteries, a survival compass, some tinder for fire starting and whatnot. So just a neat little kind of package here that, again, I won this in a giveaway online, but Box Cutter Designs, cool company, lots of unique ideas with what they're doing there. And this actually just fits right up here in the front of my console, very convenient. I do have a rosary from the Vatican that my aunt got me because I am God-fearing, and you guys want to have God with you when you're out there on the roads. What else? Let's see. From here, chapstick for when your lips hurt real bad. I don't have any magnets or anything like that because I don't believe in taking your firearm off body and having it mounted under your dash or something. I think in the event you needed to get out of the vehicle quickly, having to insert an extra step to get that magazine and firearm, or whatever the case may be, not the greatest of ideas. Here in the center console, basically just fast food napkins for either your hands or blowing your nose, because, well, you guys probably understand how that works. And then here, one thing, and this has saved me a lot, is a travel grooming kit. You guys, not the biggest deal in the world, but man, does it make a difference when you need it. Something that I think all men, especially if you wear a beard or whatever, got facial hair, clean yourself up, make sure you're ready to go. And then an additional charging cord in here too, because these vehicles all come with USB ports and everything, so charging your devices is a great idea. Additionally, over here in the door panel, I do keep a third pair of gloves because they're great to have. And if they rip, if they wear out, or if you use them and then forget to put them back, I've been burned by all of those things. Always have an extra pair of gloves, and then a winter hat. The weather here in Michigan does kind of suck periodically, so whether it's just really cold or snowy or rainy or whatever combination, having a hat for yourself or for someone else is a good idea. So I have one of those, and these just fit together in the door panel itself. And lastly, I do have a little trash can. Don't be filthy, you guys. These are easy. I just dump it out whenever I'm at the gas station. Keeps everything clean and organized for me. I actually have a pair of them, so one in each door. Yeah, and I have access to all of this while I'm still in control of the vehicle. None of this stuff is world changing. It's probably things you probably thought of, or a lot of it you probably already do carry in your vehicle or on your person, or both. This is simply how I'm able to be prepared when I leave the home. Some final considerations that I'm going to throw out there for you guys that are just going to make life easier and a little bit more predictable in general. Having a vehicle with good ground clearance like a Jeep or some kind of SUV, I recommend, especially if you live in one of the northern states where we do get snow, or you're in an area that gets a lot of flooding. Driving vehicles low to the ground, so any kind of a sedan or a subcompact, is really going to be dicey at best, especially in those winter months. So if you can get a vehicle that's lifted a little bit higher off the ground and still have a good amount of storage space or passenger space, you're going to be in a better situation overall. A couple of general maintenance things. You don't have to be a master mechanic, okay? I know there's plenty of guys out there that drive Tacomas and Land Cruisers that turn them into overlanding machines, and I think those are really cool and something that I would love to be able to do one day. But simple maintenance is going to go a long way for you. So rotate your tires, check the air in them, all right? Additionally, make sure you have a spare tire and check on it when you have your tires rotated. Have the tech check into it. They do it as part of the cost. The last thing you want is to go and have to change a tire, put on a spare, and realize that your spare tire is dry rotted and will not hold air, and then you're really in bad shape. In conjunction with that, make sure your roadside jack works, and make sure you know how to use a roadside jack. Understand where your jack points are to lift the vehicle, understand how to take the lug nuts off and things, what tools you have at your disposal. There's a lot of people that will actually recommend carrying a battery-powered impact in the back of their vehicle so they don't have to mess with a star wrench or some kind of lug nut wrench, tire iron, to take care of that when it happens. And then just care for the vehicle, right? Make sure you're on a good schedule to change your oil so that this vehicle is going to take care of you when it's supposed to and how it's supposed to. Again, none of this stuff is anything world-changing, you guys, but things that I think are worth talking about and worth pointing out, especially with a lot of tension and uncertainty in the world today. So I do hope that this was helpful for you guys. Please go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe, then the notification bell. We're dropping videos like this every week or every other week. We want to make sure that this content is coming out to you guys and helping you out. So thank you so much for checking out the video, and we will catch you on the next one.